Hello students, now we are in week 9, lesson 2, chapter 26. Okay, this is on business and the international economy. Right, let's get started. Okay, the learning objective for this chapter would be globalization, multinational companies, and exchange rate. So all this you will be learning this lesson. Okay, but today we will be focusing more on the globalization. All right. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right. So the importance of globalization. Okay, before that, what is business and international economy all about? So, like countries that trade with each other contributes to the process of globalization. So, in terms of technology, the world has become smaller, making international expansion much easier for companies. So, technology is the only sources that we have to connect with other countries, other people, other countries, anywhere. So it can be greater movements of products, services, people, and also in terms of making business, okay, making money. So for many businesses, expansion with international markets is an important growth or strategy. So the global recognition of brands is a sign of the growth of businesses internationally. So international businesses, any companies here, which has many businesses around the world on a business environment, and such things as tariff is more to taxes, exchange rate, more to the currency fluctuation up and down, so greatly influence business activity. All this can be another barrier or another tool for them to look into to expand their business. So the importance of globalization. Okay, let's look at the first one, the concept of globalization and the reason for it. All right, so now what is globalization anyway? Okay, globalization is the process by which countries are connected with each other because of the trade. Trade means buying and selling of goods and services. Now, what are the reasons? Now, here, um, usually those days, okay, goods and services were often produced in one country and sold locally. So nowadays goods and services may be produced by businesses in use in one country, and then exported to countries all over the world. So yet another type of business is the multinational company, where a company has its headquarters in one country and branches and factories in other countries around the world. So the result has been a huge increase in international trade, which has led to globalization. All right, so let's look at the first reason. Okay, the first reason would be growth in international trade. Second, global recognition for brands. Greater movement of products, services, people, and money. Company operating in more than one country. So the use of the information like IT, in technology, has helped to make international expansion easier for many companies. So more efficient methods of communication and international transportation have helped to break down geographical and language barriers, so you don't have to move around. Okay, so for example, like perishable food item such as fruits, vegetables, which is it can be shipped anywhere in the world. Free trade agreement also assists business operation by improving economic and technical cooperation. Okay, like many companies has established all over the world. Okay, like more businesses like IT companies are based in India. IT department, IT, okay, IT sources of resources are basically from India, for example. So many government have realized that the importance of international trade to their economies and have changed their economic policies to allow foreign companies to set up operation in their countries. So this has helped some large companies to grow into multinational. So many governments have also reduced or removed trade barriers so that it is easier for goods and services to move from one country to another. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, like what I told you just now, the use of IT, information technology, helped international expansion, helped to break down geographical and language barriers. Free trade, that means free buying and selling agreement with other country, also agreement to assist business operation by improving economic and technical cooperation. And also it helps some companies to grow into multinational. Government produce or remove reduce or removed trade barriers so that it is easier for the goods and services to move from one country to another. Alright. Okay, looking into the characteristic of globalization, with greater cultural, technological, social, political interaction between countries, which is globalization, and fewer barriers and regulation, there is a greater trade exchange rate, okay, exchange of goods and services between countries. So this makes the world a single market with the economies of different countries being dependent upon each other. So they work together. Okay, brands become recognized globally and products and services are easily accessible anywhere in the world. All right, so that's why you can see the growth in international trade, okay, dependency on the global economy, greater movements of products, services, um, people and money, companies operating in more than one country, and global recognition of brands. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, the growth of globalization. Okay, factors that have increased the pace of globalizations are migration. Okay, migration means it's a movement of people from one place to another, and the improvements of technology leading to faster and more effectively telecommunication, and also in terms of transportation. So the development of countries being held together by free trade agreement has also contributed to the growth of globalization. Okay, so another way, free trade agreement are actually considered to be an important way of opening up foreign markets. Most free trade agreement aim to reduce trade barriers between member countries by creating favorable trade and investment policy. Now, free trade agreements also help business operation by improving economic and technical cooperation. So what countries will do, country wanting to trade with each other from the trade bloc, and trade bloc is actually a group of countries that trade with each other and are usually part of the free trade agreement, so and reach a common agreement to lower trade barriers within the member countries. So like for example, you can see there two logos, right? APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, and Asian Free Trade Agreement. So this APEC, right? Or another word is Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Okay, is an association of 21 countries that aims to promote free trade and economic cooperation throughout the Asia Pacific region. So this is another way to have a trade agreement with other countries to help the business of worldwide businesses. All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, next one, opportunities and threats of globalization. Okay, now globalization affects people and businesses in the home country. Okay, what is home country? Home country means the domestic country where a multinational starts first establish its operation. Okay, where a multinational first sets up its operation, that is home country. And then you have the host country. The host country is the foreign country where a multinational sets up its operation. Okay, that means foreign country where multinational sets up its operation, that is host country. Now, globalization has great impact on the people and the country involved. So people benefit from a wider variety of products available to them at a lower cost. So also multiculturalism promotes peace and understanding between people. Globalization is good for countries as it leads to increased cooperation between them. So reduction in prices contribution it contributes to greater exports and incoming foreign country currencies. So attracting more businesses to invest in their country can help government achieve their economic objectives. So such as low employment, increased economic growth, and etc. Right, now we go to the next slide. Now let's look at the opportunity and threats of globalization. It's already in your textbook, page 329, table 26.1 on opportunities and threats of globalization. Let's look at the first one. Business can access more market, and of course this may lead to increase in sale, wider customer base. Okay, it also increase in profit, more brand recognition, and economy of scale. At the same time, labor may be cheaper in host nations, and so businesses can gain more lower costs. At the same time, due to increased competition, business operate more efficiently and reduce cost due to cost effective innovation and economic of scale, right? So reduction in cost will lead to greater profit, and they can also offer their products at reduced prices and encourage sales. Okay, let's look at the threats. Okay, local businesses may suffer because of foreign companies. So they might suffer because as a foreign company starts to sell their products at a cheaper price. Then exchange rate fluctuation, okay, may cause lowering of profits. And then next one, competition will increase for both local and international businesses. At the same time, the marketing and distribution costs for the international business will increase. All right, so there are risks and costs associated with globalization. There are risks. So, for example, people in the home country may lose their job if a company decide to move its operation to a country with a cheaper labor force. So, there, this will also increase unemployment rate. Okay, in the home country. So, opponents of globalization claim that increased globalization has led to increased demand for goods and services at the cost of environment damage. So, what globalization forces companies to confront to a standard culture, and this may lead to a loss of individual culture in the host country. Like for example, we cannot have like McDonald's, we can't have kimchi sauce in Malaysia, for example. You can't have pork burger in Malaysia, for example. So all this can be a barrier. So despite the limitation methods like what I mentioned just now, so entry to international markets for some businesses is an important objective, and it will enable the business to grow. Like for example, Starbucks, Nike, Samsung are examples of companies that have grown because of their expansion into other country. All right, that's all for today. Okay, please go through the case study as in Starbucks, page 330. All right, there's some 4 tasks there, 4 questions based on the task. Go through the questions and we will discuss later on. Okay, that's all for today. Bye.